everybody. Good evening and welcome to Fact Check TV. My name is Jordan, better known by our regular Fact Check followers as Mama J. So tonight what we want you to do is grab your cup, come on in, take a seat, and Desiree is going to go ahead and hit you with some information about who we are, why we're here, and what our vision is. Desiree?
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Auntie. Tonight, guys, before we do our open floor, we actually want to talk to you and give you a little bit of information of exactly who we serve, the different demographics of who we're actually here to help. Um, we are an organization primarily focused on bringing our girls home, our minority girls. We do have a phone number. Let me tell you how you get in contact and how you're able to report a missing person. We have our website, the dockellisfoundation.com. You can go on our website. You'll be able to report a missing person on our website. We have social media. We have TikTok as well as Facebook and Instagram. Our social media is checked round the clock. We also have an 800 number. On the 800 number, our business hours are going to be Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 7:30. If by any chance you reach us outside of those hours, leave a message. We will call you back and we will call you immediately if it's an emergency. The phone number is 800-370-0830. That's 1-800-370-0830. Jasmine?
Hi, it's Jasmine. So today I just wanted to take a little bit of time. I love Desiree because in a minute she's gonna go,
Man.
So we just wanted to take today to really explain to everybody the process so that when you're reporting your loved one or a human trafficking victim, you understand what that looks like so you do not feel like we are not going to pick up your case or look into your case. And we have some really good news to bring forward and some introductions to do, even though they're not here. We do want to introduce their services as well. For those of you guys that tuned in last week, you'll probably remember that we do have a missing persons advocate now. So to understand the way a missing person advocate works is it's almost like a victim advocate. That individual in our team, we are able to set you up with victim of crime. We can complete the victim of crime application if you have dealt with any type of situations where there unfortunately was a death involved, or maybe you need to flee. Maybe you were involved in a domestic violence situation and your abuser knows where you're at, then you can apply for victims of crime. So we can assist you with doing that as well. Also, we have an investigator on the team. She's not only an investigator, but she's also a counselor. So she handles trauma. So we can set you up with those type of services. Mind you, we are a nonprofit organization, so none of these resources cost you a dime. If you are reporting a missing person, like Desiree said, please go to the website. You can, and I'm just going to repeat it, so sorry, but you could go to the website. You can also use that telephone number and text. If you text, it will shoot out and disperse to our entire team. If it's after hours and your case is an extreme case, believe me, we will call you right back. Once you contact us by either one of those formats, please give our team 24 to 48 hours to respond back because we are dealing with multiple cases right now. However, once we respond back, then Miss Tanya up here will reach out to you, and we're going to slide it over to her in a minute. But Miss Tanya will reach out to you. And once she reaches out to you, she will get a little bit more detail. She will then set up a virtual meeting for all of us to connect so that we can basically do what we call an assessment to not necessarily guarantee that you fit the criteria, but to make sure that we understand the information.
Your situation completely.
Yeah. And then from there, we process your information. We hand that information over to our investigator and the rest of the team, and we go to work. And that's the way it works. And Ms. Tanya, if you want to give a little bit more information, and before you start, I just want to say to the individuals in the chat, thank you so much for your love and your support. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, because the only way what we're doing makes noise is if you're sharing with individuals on what we're doing. And go ahead, Ms. Tanya.
I just want to say that we do not help every single person. We are centered around human sex trafficking and missing persons. Occasionally, we will take on a case for, let's just say, a homicide or something like that occasionally, but that isn't something that we're centered around. We are centered around the human sex trafficking cases, the missing persons as well. And under the human sex trafficking, we have domestic violence. Those tie into each other. Those are under the same umbrella. And as Jasmine said, you can reach us either way. You can email, you can send something on the social media. We're all around 24 hours for the hotline as well. Are there any questions?
Mama J, you're on mute.
Only me.
Only you.
I was gonna say, I'm just gonna take a minute and just read our mission and our vision to give our viewers a better insight as to exactly what we do and what we're striving to do. So everyone, our mission here at the Dock Ellis Foundation, the Dock Ellis Foundation strives to empower minority victims of human trafficking, domestic violence, as well as families of missing persons by participating and partnering with athletes and major sports teams, as well as individuals and in our community partners who engage in the anti-modern day slavery movement.
Yes.
That is our mission here at the Dock Ellis Foundation. And again, like Tanya says, we want to be able to help everybody, but unfortunately, there are some cases that we are not going to be able to take on because of what the cases entail. However, we will do our best. If you call us, we're going to do our best to get you to the persons that will be able to better help you with your situation.
And Jazz? We do have a question in the chat. If you guys see me go back and forth, it's because I am trying to check the chat. So we have Miranda. I just want to read a couple of the comments to let everybody know that we do see you. I'm on my way to work, but I'm listening, and I made sure to hit the subscribe and the love. Woo, woo, Miranda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miranda.
We have Jason So Real. He actually said much respect to the ladies, but then he also asked a question, and he asked, are our cases nationwide? Actually, I'm glad you asked that question. Good job, Jason. So, Jason, we have numerous board members. Again, we are a nonprofit, so our nonprofit consists of board members. A little bit more background so you guys understand. We are volunteer based. Everybody on our team is on a volunteer base, and we are volunteering 24 hours around the clock. Our end goal and dream and what is going to happen is we will be opening up a safe home. We will be partnering with actually somebody that I see in the chat, a young lady who's in Atlanta, who is also working on opening up her own organization. And we are thinking of doing something very special, but we'll keep that down the line. Going back to where the cases are that we handle, we are all over the place. Each one of our board members are in a different state. We actually have a buddy system, so we have taken cases from all over. There has not been one state or one time that we have had to turn down a case because of the location. So with that being said, the short answer is nationwide, yes.
Jason.
So good question. We do handle all cases. It does not matter where you are at. We have some frequent flyers. frequent flyers. And they will go wherever it is that they need to go. We participate, as well as we participate in searches. We provide the flyers. So if you have a loved one who cannot afford to purchase or make the flyers, we will purchase them. We also make them, as well as we will host the search for you. No matter where it's at, if we have to go there, we will do the searches. And just to give a little backdrop and a reminder, almost like a moment of silence, maybe about 3 years ago, and we told this story a little bit on the last time we were live, but there was a young girl who went missing. She was on her way to her boyfriend's house. She did not make it to the boyfriend's house, unfortunately. A neighbor who lived 2 doors down invited her over, and in the process of her being there, killed her and put her body in the sewer drain between her house and his house. And because the Dock Ellis Foundation was able to come out and kind of put pressure on the community, and I think it was almost unnoted. We were not aware that we were putting the pressure on, let's say. He ended up turning himself in and admitting to the police officers what he did. We have been to DC. We have arranged marches in DC. We have been, where else? Goodness, I can't even begin to think. So yes, that is what we do. And we want to give a shout out to the YouTubers. There have been a couple of YouTubers out there who have referred individuals to us to get services or to request assistance. So shout out to those YouTube channels. Of course, we see the love. Thank you very much. And what else? Desiree Corbin.
Another thing that I wanted to talk about too is we have a large base. I can say it's a large base, a lot of followers, a lot of family members and friends that know what we're doing. And the main goal here, on top of home, is participation in the community. I think it was you and I, we were talking, and it was based on a true story. A young girl was missed and the neighbor kidnapped her upstairs. They were able to really make noise and apply pressure because there were so many people involved. Involvement is everything. And we don't mean you got to meet up with us and put on your hiking boots, going out in the rain. Even if it's sharing our information, sharing our page, when it boils down to it, sometimes it's literally you hearing and seeing our document, our missing girls that we post, and you're able to post it. And the people in the community, I have a child, and I couldn't imagine my neighbor just not sharing it, not being on the lookout, not posting a picture. Communication, participation is everything, you guys. So I want you guys, whoever's out there listening, who's watching, you guys, please share. It takes 2 minutes, if that. That's one of the things that I think I'm gonna be pushing for even more, especially with my own family and friends, because it shouldn't be why they're not doing it. Mm-hmm. But we want you guys to be as active as possible. That's how. This is how we'll put an end to human trafficking. This is how we'll put it into these babies going missing. This is how we'll put an end to it. We literally need all hands on deck. I guarantee you, we can. If everybody was just as active, I'm almost certain we can. You have something?
I got quiet because I thought Mama J was about to say something. I could feel.
I thought so too. I'm sorry.
I was, but you know me. I fall back and wait.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna, reiterate some of what Desiree was saying. People don't understand how important it is if every single person that comes on one of our social media pages or sites, if just 1 to 5 people would share that same post on their page, people don't realize how many lives that we would possibly be able to save, and how many young girls as well as young boys that we would probably be able to bring back home in return. Like the saying goes, if you see something, say something, and I just believe in this organization. I believe in what we're doing. And I truly believe that if we could just get the help from the public, to just help us pass this word along, we could bring so many children back home to their loved ones. And the way I always look at it is, what would I do if it were my child? What would I do if it were my niece or my nephew or my grandbaby? And I would want people doing for me exactly what we're willing to do for others. That's it, Jess.
So I want to take just a brief second to show a quick PSA that we put together. It's nothing fancy. However, I do want to let those of you guys that are following, please inbox me or send us an email. Let me tell you the email. It's info, I-N-F-O, at dockellisfoundation.com, and Dock is spelled D-O. Swag. D-O-C-K. My shirt. D-O-C-K. So it's info at dockellisfoundation.com. We are looking for individuals who want to be a part of our next PSA. We want it to be massive. We are looking for young girls. We are going to provide them with what they will need to say or what they can say. But we would love for you guys to please inbox us or send us a message so that we can get you involved in the PSA. But I do want to take a brief second and show the PSA, and then we will come back, and we would like to also feature some of the young girls that are missing for this week.
And give us your opinion on the PSA.
Please.
Nearly 40% of missing persons are persons of color, yet African Americans only make up 13% of the world's population.
Sexual violence affects Black women at high rates. More than 20% of Black women will be raped during their lifetime, a higher rate than any other nationality.
More than 4 in 10 Black women experience physical violence from an intimate partner during their lifetimes. White women, Latinas, and Asian/Pacific Islander women report lower rates.
According to the government statistics, 90,000 people are missing in Mexico, and that number continues to grow.
I mean, we did the PSA.
I like that. I like
it.
Okay, stop bragging, ladies. Stop bragging.
I'm not bragging. What I'm saying is, even when I look at it, I'm over here like, are your eyes getting watery?
I think it's super personal.
Yeah.
The PSA is just almost like, you know how some PSA, they put you on all this glam.
Mm-hmm.
They do all this wear special stuff and make you do it 100 times. It's like everybody in it, it was really personal. It was more so speaking from the heart. Like, listen, we need y'all help. This is really a public service announcement. I think that's why it's so good too.
That's what I love about it. The person, like, you can definitely see that everyone that's speaking in the PSA has some sort of emotional ties to the PSA.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you, Miranda. Miranda said that was powerful. We were hoping that that's where we would go. And, you know, the unfortunate part is that was like pulling teeth to people. And, you know, we want to be transparent here. That was like pulling teeth to get people to participate. And, you know, it kind of bothered me because if we were asking somebody to do a TikTok video that was trending, or, you know, the new dance that's trending, everybody would jump in and nobody would think twice about it. But when you're asking individuals to reach out, nobody on here from the chat to us are exempt. And, you know, I'm going to keep saying over and over again, you have over 90,000 Latinos who are missing. You have over 65,000 African Americans who are missing. And that's only the people that are reported, that they have not reported as runaway. So it's a large amount of people and a large amount of families who are being affected by an individual who is missing. And nobody seems to care.
Right.
Not even our own community. You
Right.
know, we not trying to be smart, but we are screaming Black Lives Matter. We want everybody to care and to protest and to fight when it comes to police brutality and when it comes to, you know, the prison system being unfair to inmates. But what about the individuals whose child is missing,
Yes.
or whose sister is gone, or whose father got in the car and went to the store and never came home? Because you don't hear about it all the time, they don't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
And not only that, when it's not direct.
And also, to piggyback off of what Jasmine was just saying, if more people took the time to go in and just pull up some of these individual stories, and would, you know, like she was just mentioning a minute ago, the mis and ill treatment of the minority community, the African American community. Well, this falls within that category.
Absolutely.
Because if people went back and researched and saw the stories of how many of these parents and grandparents are reporting their children or their grandbabies, their daughters, their sons missing, and the police are shunning them off like it's no big deal. They're runaways, or you know, maybe they just didn't want to come home. I mean, some of the stories are horrific. And I just think that if we allowed our voices to sound off as loud about this matter as we do about some of the other things that we can be passionate about, I just believe that more of these children would be returned home. I just really do.
Absolutely. Miranda said, if we don't speak up, no one will speak up. History proves that to be a fact. If you're not blonde/blue, you don't matter. That's what I've seen on YouTube. And, you know, it's the truth. Like, even when you look into African American men that are missing, these are men. Did you know that some of these men that are missing went into a prison cell and never were heard of again?
Right.
Yep.
So we talk Black Lives Matter. They were arrested. They were put in custody, never heard of again. I just saw a story the other day on the ID channel about a really beautiful family, African American. I believe it was in North Carolina. They had about 42 acres of land. They reported their family member missing, and they found him lynched on the property of this 42 acres, and they waxed it up as a suicide. Have we not noticed that every hanging that we've seen since the pandemic has been labeled a suicide? Well, let me tell you what Black people ain't trying to do: hang ourselves.
No, absolutely not.
So
absolutely not.
If we don't start caring, let me put it like this. We talk about, you know, Black lives don't matter until we bring in Black lives, the LGBT that fall under Black lives that are African American. Guess what else is included? The missing that are African American, the injustice of the African Americans. All of that ties under Black Lives Matter, all of it. So we can't say that we care, Black Lives Matter, but only this part of Black Lives Matter. The only time we're going to come in and make noise is when the police got they knee on our neck, but we're not going to care about when Keisha goes missing. Oh, that's different. Well, Keisha shouldn't have been online. Well, she shouldn't have been talking to who she was talking to on the internet. Oh, well, did you see the way she was dressed? It doesn't matter. If Black lives matter, then everything under that umbrella that's Black matters.
Correct.
That's my opinion. So, we just really want you guys to understand we probably won't get 1,000 views every week because we are not talking about the hottest topic trending. We hope that we can change the mindset of everybody where this does become something that's important. We are not here to pick and prod through individual stories. So if people are subscribing and liking because you're wanting to hear about the tea of the missing person, that's not what we're here to do either. When an individual comes to our nonprofit organization, there are how did I forget the documents? There are HIPAA forms that are signed. There are release
non-disclosure
and
release
confidentiality
of information.
absolutely that are signed. If an individual would like for us to speak their story on the internet, there is also a form that they can sign releasing the rights for us to be able to do that. We are not here to pass on the tea to make this. That's not our agenda. Our agenda is to make noise. We're going to call the police department. We're going to go knock on their door. We're going to pull police reports, redacted information. That's the type of stuff that we're here to do. We're not here to be the person to make drama, basically. We want to do everything in a respectful way.
Right.
So before we go into the next phase of the show, there was a topic that we wanted to discuss that did not have anything to do with missing persons. It was actually two recent situations that happened that the community have been talking about. One is the young boy that was pepper sprayed at the school and put in handcuffs. And the other situation is the young girl that just lost her life in Victorville, California. But before we do that, we want to make sure that we are sharing the faces of the individuals who are missing this week. See something, say something. If you have any information and you don't feel comfortable calling the Dock Ellis Foundation, please make sure that you're calling your local 911 to report that you've seen any one of these young ladies. These young ladies were reported missing on September 27th. And again, I don't think we've seen anything about them in the media, so. So please make sure if you see any of those young ladies, and we will play it again before we end the show. Please make sure if you see any of those young ladies that you, again, call your local police department, or you can reach out to the Dock Ellis Foundation and we will pass the information on accordingly. Now, just to switch it a little bit, switch gears. And to talk about the situation, and I guess it kind of goes hand in hand, right? Like the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
You know, how much we have to care about all aspects under that umbrella. And a couple of weeks ago, there was a video that went viral of a young boy who was at school. He did not want to play kickball. And he chose to sit down on the bleachers for a second. And then he decided that he wanted to go play basketball. And the principal went to have a conversation with him. The principal did not like the way the conversation was going. So he asked for the school officer to come in to take place. After the school officer came in to take place, the situation went from 0 to 100. And I have heard everybody talk about the officer and what the officer did wrong. I've heard people talk about the school. Awesome job for the kids that went to protest. Y'all are holding it down and rocking it out. But nobody has talked about the coach.
Right.
I heard the coach say something and it bothered me. And I told Mama J about it. And Mama J was like, "You're right. That's right." And I said, that little boy said, something on the lines of the coach being racist, and the coach responded back and said, I am the least racist person in here. And after that, that was all I heard. Like, I am the least racist. When you say I am the least racist, that means that I am racist. I'm just not as racist as the ones that are racist, but I'm racist, just a little racist. And nobody really paid attention to that. And that really stood out to me, that everybody around the group of people that were having the conversation, nobody interjected. I think I had a huge problem that there was an African American man standing there who never interjected. Now, I will say that, we're trying to teach our children to slow down, let them do whatever they're going to do. Don't say as much and let it go. But I never once really saw him interject until he told the little boy, don't resist. And the little boy was like, I'm not resisting. But I want to give shots out to the little boy. And I want to give shots out to the little boy's father. Because when the police officer got on the telephone to call for his backup, he said, the father is angry, disgruntled, basically. And the dad never showed that. And I said to myself, wow, his presence and his demeanor mirrored his father. His father in school, he was not yelling, he was not screaming. He let each individual tell their story. He then requested to see his son. He went to son. He told son, he gave son directives. Son followed directives, and everything went fine. It did not escalate. But it really bothered me that the teacher used that language as, I am the least racist person.
It goes along the lines of, well, I'm not racist. I have this Black friend or that Black friend.
Let me tell you, to me, what it kind of also reflects on, and I might be even stretching, anybody that can have that type of I don't care attitude towards a child, when you have the position you have, you're already a different race than them. This is almost where our missing babies go missing. It's the start of it. You don't even have any regard to his life. If he would have made the wrong move, had they been in a different situation, he'll have no problem discarding him, because their lives just don't matter to them. And this is how it starts. Had that baby resist, had he not been as respectful as his father, had he not been taught oh so well, which we, by the way, shouldn't even have to teach him that, but hadn't even not been that, in my opinion, this is where it starts. Because they don't care. They would have easily said, well, the motherfucker mouthed off. Sorry, excuse my language. He mouthed off, and we just gonna put him to the side. You know what I mean? Because that's how, in my opinion, that's how it starts. They have no kind. They wouldn't have done that to Timmy that went to that school. They wouldn't have done that to him. It would have been a woosah moment. And I honestly feel like this is the beginning stages of where they don't care. And any wrong rule, move, word, etc., they would have done away with him. They found a body. Remember the little boy they found in the gym at the other school, who come to find out the dean always had words with him? I just feel like that's the beginning. This is exactly where it starts. And I'm shocked that gentleman didn't step in, the Black guy, a lot more than he did. And again, this goes to us. We got to have our own back. This is the same type of communicate and participate. He could have easily put a stop to that. Way more than what he think. And it's sometimes, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm always butting in somebody else's business. Excuse me. Don't do that. Don't know why you talking to her like that.
And the other thing is this. In 2 weeks, that case won't even be talked about again.
I agree.
I was just getting ready. I was just getting ready to say, Tanya must have been reading my mind, because I was going to say the sadder thing about especially the African American community. We get a story, breaking news, we see it on TV, we read about it, and everybody is gung-ho. Everybody goes out, they get the t-shirts made, they meet at the park. We're going to march on Washington. We're going to march on downtown LA. We're going to march in Ohio, on and on and on and on. And like Tanya said, and once the march goes away, you never hear about the story again. It's just like out of sight, out of mind. And this is why there's a term that says repetition strengthens and confirms.
Yep.
And it's so very true, even with law enforcement.
Yeah.
If they see that, oh yeah, they're going to come out and they're going to go gun ho. But guess what, guys? They're going to be out here and we might have to deal with them 2 weeks, maybe 30 days, might even be 60 days. But just hold tight because they're going to all go away.
Yeah.
And it's going to get quiet again.
Yeah.
Until there's another case. And then we have to worry about them coming out again and how they're going to come out this time. Yeah. And we've got to be more
persistent.
We have to be more persistent. Thank you, Jasmine. We have to be more persistent. When we got to stop always talking and start going into positive action, not negative action. Positive action. You know how I am with these fingers. Positive action, because really, action speaks so much louder than words, but it's the way you present that action.
And let me say, when we say action, we don't mean go tear up your own neighborhood. We don't mean
nobody's neighborhood.
I was just about to say, we don't mean go to their neighborhood. We don't mean burn buildings down, steal Louis Vuittons and Gucci bags. I'm sorry, but you know, we got to have a little comedy. And whether we run a nonprofit or not, we're people. We're people. Yeah. We're Black women. We want to protect our Black men, and we want to protect ourselves, because guess what? Black men are not the only ones on the hit list anymore. And by us speaking up and by us talking, not only we're putting ourselves on a hit list, because they find us too powerful and say, okay, figure out a way to throw a warrant on her. I don't know. But if I come up missing, what y'all do know is I didn't run off. I did not hurt myself. Listen. I want that disclosure there. If I come up missing, and we talk about this all the time amongst ourselves. If I come up missing, look for me. And if they tell you that I was in custody and I harmed myself, you better be the first ones on camera like this. No, she didn't, because I'm not guilty of that. And it's almost like the safety plan that you have to make with your family now is, listen, I don't feel suicidal. Listen, I don't want to kill myself. Listen, so if anything happens to me, you need to go ahead and fight. Don't give up. Don't let them just tell you anything. Like, that's the safety plan. Now we have to teach our kids and ourselves 10 and 2, hands on the dash. Right. If I get my wallet, and then we have to sit down and have an entire safety plan built out with our family. And you almost have to have safety words, like call me and say the elephant is purple if you are in danger and you feel like you're getting ready to be in harm, so that I know that I go into X, Y, and Z mode, right? Like, that's almost where it puts you. But like Desiree was just saying, and Mama J, it all plays in hand, because I'm not trying to put anything on anybody. I'm just using this as an example. Hypothetically, that little boy decides to fight back. Nobody's in that gym to record it. You go to ruffle tuffle with him, you break his neck, you put him in a mat. Yep. That's simple. Yep. And all of a sudden, here come all the other kids coming into the gym, and now everybody's going, oh my God, where is such X, Y, and Z? He was just in the gym, he's not here. And then you find him in a mat, and that is what happened to the last little boy that it happened to, in my opinion. What's the word we're supposed to use?
Allegedly.
I'm like, what's the safety word? Because we don't want nobody coming from. We don't want none of those problems.
Allegedly.
But you know, it's sad, it's scary, and it's unfortunate, and it is. We cause all this ruckus, and we go burn these buildings down, and we bust these windows out, and then we do it it turns from the right reason to the wrong reason. And then it becomes embarrassing for those of us who are really out there like fight. And you're like, okay, whoa, how did we go from get your knee off my neck to the Louis bags being taken at the Louis Vuitton store? Like, how does that match with this? Like, what were you trying to do when you were doing that? None of it makes sense to me. So when we say fight, learn how to write a letter. Learn who your senators and your congressmen are.
Yeah.
Learn what your senators and congressmen and congresswomen are fighting for, and go sit in the city council meetings and continue to sit in them. Go ahead, Mama J.
And just to piggyback, thank you, Jazz. You all of you guys are bringing up some good topics, and I just get to sit back and piggyback off of them. This is wonderful. But no, and we're definitely not a political or religious organization, but I have to agree with Jasmine. Another thing we as African Americans have got to start doing, we have got to start understanding exactly how government works.
Yes.
Everybody talks about what the president of the current president of the United States is doing or not doing. It's not up to the president. It's up to your local officials, your governors, your senators, your city councilmen and women, your commerce department. Those are the individuals that make a difference in the state and in the communities that you live in. And if we're not out voting and making decisions on who we want, we're hiring those people.
Oh, yeah.
We pay for them to sit in those seats. We have the right to go to their offices, knock on their doors. And let me tell you something about Miss Jasmine.
We have the right to sit in a seat.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, we do.
In that order.
One thing I can say about Jasmine will pick up the phone and she will start from the bottom. And by the time she's done, she has moved all the way up to the top of the pyramid. Yeah. And the only person she has not reached so far is the president of the United States.
Yeah.
By the time she's done, she gets results. And that's what we all have to be willing to do.
Listen,
but in all honesty, it's the truth that sometimes, and I know for a fact that I've gotten to where I am in knowing because I got sick of not knowing. I got to the point where I was like, well, hold up, because when I go to vote, I'm only worried about two people. I ain't lying. The president and vice president. Then I start breaking it down. Then I start realizing who I was voting for, because when I needed a stop sign around the corner because it's not one and they was just running the street, I'm like, dang, that's crazy, because the person that I didn't vote for was the one that got in.
Yeah.
And my vote does count, but I could have easily voted him out because he don't believe in putting stop signs in every other corner. You got to educate yourself. And sometimes at this day and age with our population, our culture, it's not popular. But I have a group chat with almost every set of friends, and right before it's time to vote, I do a little cheat sheet. Oh, Prop 27 is for this. Oh, because you have to let your people know, because and it's up to us to take responsibility. Attach yourself to organizations that put it out there. Grab you some friends who think about stuff like that, because it's true. Like, in my opinion, I feel like waiting 24, 48 hours to actually report a missing person is so dumb. That's on my agenda to change it.
Honestly, that's
something. She has said it about 6 times, which means she gonna make sure she changes that.
I'm definitely about to work on it. That's my
that's a piece of legislation that a group of us could get together and go sit before Congress and have changed.
Yeah.
But numbers are powerful.
Yes, it
when
is.
You start gathering people in numbers and we are forcing them to have to listen to our voices. That's what changes things. It has nothing to do with the president of the United States. The president of the United States is nothing but he runs the federal government. He has nothing to do with a state or a city laws and regulation and legislation. Yeah. And Tanya and I talked about this one night after we had all gotten off the phone or out of our meeting, and we was saying, how now I lost my train of thought.
The laws, how it's basically up to us state to state.
Yeah, we was talking about the whole 24-hour thing when somebody's loved one comes up missing and they're telling you, oh, well, they're 23 and they have the right to leave. and go where they want to go. They're probably just, out having fun or got drunk and stayed at a friend's. And it's like, we have to stop and make them listen, Linda. This
Yeah.
is my child. This is not normal behavior for my child. So no, we're not going to wait 24 hours. We're going to start looking, and we're going to start looking now. But the way to make that happen is we have to start going gun ho at these local legislators.
And we don't
the police commissioners.
Let me put a clause on it.
The same way you go down that rabbit hole that you would for drama, you have to look at these local officials' agenda and study what it is that they're doing and what their agenda is.
Yeah, absolutely. And the sadder part about it is that we were just talking about, how people are not working. And, we go to McDonald's and you're like in line for like 45 minutes and the people come on and say, it's only two of us here. Well, the new generation, I think it was me and Desiree just talking about, they are absolutely 100% the smartest batch of kids I've seen.
They
when I tell you, go-getters. Yeah, go-getters. I'm talking about, they know how to make $1 million on TikTok. They know how to open up a business. They selling lip gloss, eyelashes, nail tips. They making up stuff that in our generation, we were not thinking about doing those things. So
your generation didn't have access to what they have today either.
Correct. And I'm saying that to say is, even for like those of African Americans, Latinos, Native Americans, let's open up nonprofits that, like, after school programs that teach our children about the law, because you don't know what you don't know. Prime example, it's not a law. There's no law that says you have to wait 48 hours to report your child or a loved one missing. There's no law. They'll convince you and tell you that you have to wait, but that is not a law. So we have to really come together. We have to figure out what's important every other day. I think I'm getting to the point to where I like to hibernate in my house now, because every time I look up, it's somebody being killed. It's a home invasion. It's a shooting in a store. It's a shooting in Wawa. I have never heard of Wawa a day in my life, but Wawa has had so many shootings in whatever state it's in that I wouldn't even want to go to Wawa. And Wawa's it's not Walmart. It is a store called Wawa, and it has had 3 or 4 or 5 shootings. Now, do the math and look at it, and look at where all of this is happening. Our community. We used to be able to say, this is so inappropriate to say, but we used to be able to watch the news and go, yeah, we know that's not us.
Right.
Now you don't know. You have no idea. Mental health is high. People are not wanting to get the mental health assistance that they need. The crime rate is rising. And now, and I don't know if it's because people are bored or because we're coming out of the pandemic, so everybody just has this extra juice. But we've got to really sit down around the drawing board and figure out a plan, or we are going to lose ourselves.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I am the old school generation. And I also believe that we have to understand that with the younger generation and a lot of what we see going on and taking place via social media, especially social media, because like I tell people all the time, social media just as good as a place or tool that it can be, it's that much dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
People need to understand, especially these young parents, your children are products of their environment. They say they do what they see us do because they think it's okay.
Yeah.
And, we're now in a generation, we're now in a time where people don't have the right anymore to tap a kid on the shoulder and say, sweetie, you shouldn't be saying that, or sweetie, don't do that, you might hurt yourself, or sweetie, don't go over there because you don't want the police to start antagonizing you for any reason. So we're in a very dangerous place. So we have to be, it's hard. It's easy, but it's so hard because now we have to be so mindful of how we do say things, how we word things, how we approach the younger generation.
Yeah.
But I really think that if these children were being exposed to more positivity, because I'm not one to be funny, but I go on social media and it's like, okay, and your point was. There's so much negative. Everything is just, you get 20 negative posts for every one positive post.
Yeah.
And I just think that we all need, it has to start somewhere. Like I decided with my Facebook page that from now on, everything I post, regardless to whether somebody likes, shares, or loves on it, I'm just posting what we're doing. Yeah. Because I feel like this, if I don't reach but one person, I did what we're here to do. Yeah. I helped somebody. Right. And I'd rather help save somebody than continue posting a bunch of unnecessary stuff and possibly play a part in being helping to be somebody's demise. Yeah. And that's how we have to approach and look at things in life. Because it's like, what part did you play? What part are you playing in it?
Yeah. Well, I think even like, with human trafficking, sex trafficking being our focus, when I go on social media, I get a little nervous with the things that I'm seeing now. The children are dressed like adults. They no longer get to wear the cute little bobos anymore, and the cute, whatever happened to the cute little onesies, and now they're in mini skirts and their nails are done, and purse strapped around them, and and they're doing the dances, where it's one I saw, and I just was like, oh my goodness, like to the point to where sometimes you're scrolling and you see that this video has like 500K, 1.1 million likes, and I scroll past it so fast because I halfway feel like it's like child porn. Like, whoa, like oh, why did they just have that little baby dancing like that? Like, like there's a TikTok where the adults are, I don't know what event it is, but the guy's on a microphone and he's like, put your hands up, put your hands up. Then he's like, go down. And I guess you're supposed to like follow the directions of what he's saying. And now people have their children doing this video. Well, my mind and my opinion is, if an adult is doing it, why are we having our child do it? And then the scary part about it is, for every 1.2 million, maybe 200,000 of them people watching that video is a child sex offender.
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
And that is scary to me. And and I understand times change, because listen, I was still wearing skirts. Barrettes and barrettes and everything else in a certain age. Yeah, girl, we know. Like and sometimes it's scary, because you should be able to dress your child however you want to. They should be able to wear whatever they want to, show child, rock on, do what you want. But it's the person's mindset that's watching it.
Yeah. The predators.
It's the ones who have the devices in their home that can track your IP address. And then they're watching you take your child to school every day. And they're watching your child play on the playground. I don't think people are realizing that there are creepers out there that go to that extent.
And they're hitting our kids up on social media too.
Yeah. And
even that movie remember that movie Taken that got so much attention based off of the acting itself and how good the daddy came busting through? That happens so much. If nobody have a daddy like Ian that's gonna leave whatever his name is, that's coming busting through, but they're watching. Those girls just wanted to go on a trip as two girls that was touring the city, that was on a mini vacation. Back in the day, Jasmine and I jumped on a bus and went cities and cities away, and it was okay. It was nothing like today. It was nothing like that. Meant they were sitting there politely watching and waiting for those girls. In reality, we can all applaud the movie because the acting was amazing. He really found his child, but they don't have everyday daddies like that going to bust down the door.
Yeah.
They got men that's just sitting around. You know how many times I'm the frequent flyer at LAX, you could just see random men sitting in the back on their phone. You don't have a luggage in sight, baby. What you
Yeah.
doing? And I'm
Yeah.
very vigilant. And at first it used to be, oh, well, let me pack my bag. I have to dig a lot. My passport is on front of. No, now it's let me put everything away so I can watch my surroundings because I
Yeah.
don't need nobody paying that much attention to me. I need my
Yeah.
ride to be there before I get there. I don't need to sit and wait. I don't need to be down in my phone checking. I'm so vigilant now at the airport, and it's like that's what it's become to. But
Yeah.
it's true. Even the kids that go to school, latchkey kids. Back in the day, my mama can hide the key for us and we'll go and get it and be in the house with the kitchen clean ready for her. Nowadays, it's no way. My
Yeah.
child 21 and I'm still checking the cameras when I hear my front door open and make sure she came in. Let me make sure nobody behind her. Let me make
Yeah.
sure she was blocked. It is the scariest time to be a
Yeah.
parent, to be an auntie, to be a grandma. You're always watching. That's why I think it's so important, no matter how it becomes frustrating or it's we feel like it's 10 steps up and 100 back. It's so important for these type of organizations because the smallest of the smallest will help. And it's just like we do a lot of footwork and kudos and applaud all of you guys because it's not like a oh I'll just wake up and do it today for 5 minutes. No, it has
Yeah.
consumed our lives. It has
Yeah.
taken over. We're
Yeah.
on the phone and emailing and researching and taking classes every day. But like
all
Auntie
day.
said earlier, if it's one person that we help, do you know how worth it it's gonna be? I feel like we're gonna celebrate if we find one person, we bring somebody
Yeah.
home, we solve the case, and in 2 minutes we can be like, "Hey y'all, we got another email. Guess what happened?"
Yeah.
Because we're gonna be
Yeah.
so thrilled at the fact that exactly what we set out to do happened, and then we're gonna take it like, "Come on, let's keep going." There's so
Yeah.
many more. Our
Yeah.
email flooded. Someone else called because we know that with this type of communication, participation, the work that we are doing, the people that we have with us, man, to have a private investigator at an actual nonprofit organization, that's so deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's so deep
and
and it's so needed.
and organizations like this could accomplish so much when people have the passion for it and put their
Yeah.
heart and their mind into it.
Yep.
Because I learned from working through and in the system years ago that one of the reasons law enforcement doesn't is not quick to follow up on missing cases um, like rapidly is because there is so much paperwork and investigating that they have to put into that. So it
Yeah.
takes away from their other duties on the street and things that are going on like right now. So, that's why I think that the more people that we can get to put the word out about us and not like, but share our posts on their pages and stuff, the more we will be able to help these individuals and make them. And a lot of people also, we have to realize you have a lot of people within the minority communities. A lot of them don't go forth and really open up and talk to law enforcement because they're afraid of being prejudged. They're afraid of how far into their family history they're going to dig and what they might find out. So, when they can find organizations like ourselves where they can come in and feel free to open up and talk to us and share different aspects of their family dynamics with us, it not only makes it easier for us to do what we're trying to do, but it makes it easier and more comfortable for them because now
Yeah.
they're willing to open up and share a lot of things that we just watched a story of a family where the mother literally was hindering the investigation because she was so afraid that her daughter was going to be judged on what
Yeah.
she knew about her daughter. So she
Yeah.
refused to give law enforcement. You see what I'm saying? Where
Yeah.
when they come to us, we want to always make sure that they feel like whatever you tell us is with us. It's confidential. You don't have to worry about us prejudging you, passing judgment on you, thinking differently of you because of your family dynamics. And I just think that's really, really important.
Yeah. And
Correct.
and we're at our hour, but we'll be back. But before we wrap it up, I wasn't going to wrap it up yet. I was just getting ready.
We're at our hour.
I think that it's very important too that in the near future we are able to get a panel of African American men to be able to have a very open discussion, because
that would be great.
I just like I wish that we had the answers. We're not the expert in everything, and I wish we knew what happened. Where did the shift go? I mean, we understand slavery and all those things, but something happened during the pandemic, because crime was bad and there were things going on, but it's bad right now, like bad. And we can do our lives. We can go live. We can share on Facebook. We can share on Twitter. Matter of fact, we're live on Twitter, you guys. I forgot to tell you that. So we're live right now. Yes, I forgot to tell you. I'm so sorry. We are live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So for those of you guys that are watching, if you don't want to watch on YouTube, you can click onto Twitter on the Dock Ellis page, or you can go to Facebook and watch us from there. Every now and then we'll also be live on LinkedIn. But
we just live everywhere. We just live.
And that's how it starts, right? Like, we can sit here and talk for hours with 5 viewers. And we say, as long as we reach 1, we've reached somebody. And today we've got to reach 5, and maybe next week it'll go to 10, and the week after that, next week it'll go to 10, and then the week after that it'll go to 20, and we will attract those that we are equally yoked with. That is who we want to attract, because if we can build the masses up of the individuals that are equally yoked with us, that have the same mindset and the same thinking, and Black business owners who want to get involved and want to partner, let's hook up, let's do an event together. No matter what state you're in, we will get on the plane and come to you. Let's figure out ways that we can inform our children, let everybody know what's going on, support each other as Black business owners and nonprofit organizations. That is the only way we're going to win here. Like, that's the only way. Like, we can share missing person posts, but if nobody's looking at it and nobody's sharing it,
what good does it do?
What good, right? So, I'm very excited that we're back on air. And for those of you guys who do not remember, who did not watch last week, and this is your first time watching this week, we will be going live, hopefully, every Friday at 7 p.m. And I say hopefully because our caseload has picked up. And like I said earlier, we are a volunteer-ran organization. If there's anybody interested in volunteering, please make sure you go to the website, and there is a tab that you can click on that will show you how to apply. We are looking for individuals who would like to be advocates. We're looking for an executive. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what we're looking for right now, so everybody knows. I'm looking for an executive assistant.
And I need what you know.
I think we all need assistance. We are looking for assistance. We are looking for advocates in multiple states who can go and help support the family if we are not able to get there. Desiree, what else is it that we are looking for, Tanya?
A lot of the times when people think volunteer, they think, oh, I got to go to this building, or I got to go sit here and do this, or I got to do hard labor. No, that's not it. You can be the most helpful volunteer by being in your city and let me send you the flyers and you walk around and go post them, because it's a baby somewhere near you. It's a woman somewhere near you that's missing. That's volunteer. We need those. We need that hands-on. I need you to be the one that's going to say, hey, I volunteer, whatever you need, let me know. Yeah, I'll post flyers. Yeah, I'll repost it on my page. We need those type of volunteers as well.
Ladies, we have a question, and I think it's a very serious question.
Wait, Jasmine has to scroll up and read all of them. I didn't even know this.
I'm sorry. So I have been flagging not flagging, but I've been on the screen
highlighting.
Viewers can highlight. I've been highlighting certain comments. So one of the comments that popped up is, hey, ladies, do you have any data on which states have the highest child trafficking? Nevada is one. Atlanta is another. Memphis is another. Florida is another.
Florida.
And these are all states that we hope to soon one day be in. But that's not, let me rephrase, I'm
The
sorry.
more we can tackle, the better.
Yeah, I'm not speaking to child trafficking, though. I'm speaking to sex trafficking, human trafficking.
Trafficking.
Those are some. I believe Nevada is number 17. I believe it's number 17.
For human trafficking?
For human trafficking, and we are in the
Most-
top. We are in the top 9 for domestic violence homicide.
Mhm.
Yes.
Most states that are considered tourist states are going to have a higher rate of sex trafficking because of that. I believe that Chicago is very high in sex trafficking, but most of those cases get reported as either runaway or missing.
Yeah.
And I believe that their statistics are a lot higher than they're being reported. But I do know that I was just reading the other day where they said tourist states have some of the most highest rates. And like Jasmine said, not only with sex trafficking, but also with domestic violence.
Well, and you have to
Absolutely.
the national issue is that these numbers are underreported. So with the federal government, like for organizations who have federal grants, one of the biggest things that they're trying to do, and Polaris is the company that most of that data is reported through. Polaris is actually really good. They will reach out to organizations who do the type of things that we do to partner to collect data because it goes unreported. So there probably are states that to us we would go, yeah, they definitely got to be on the list, but it's not reported. And that's why our goal is to eventually be able to open up our hotline to a 24-hour crisis hotline. So that we can collect the data. When anybody calls our hotline, that information is collected. We do report those, the data of the services that we get it out, Jasmine. Our impact, the impact that we have and the amount of services we've provided, you can go to our website and see those numbers as well. We constantly update them and keep them updated.
California, to answer the question directly, California is number 1, and the city of San Diego is the number 1 city within California.
I was just about to say San Diego. I just left there.
Wow.
And see, that is even mind-blowing for me to hear San Diego, because people hear San Diego, they think students and the beach and you know what I'm saying?
But it's a tourist town. A lot of people come there, and there's people from all over. It's a military town, so there's people from places all over the country. So yeah, definitely. And then Mexico is right there.
True.
The border is there.
And look how random. And I guess this is why this is why I'm so glad that we're here. Like, I even think about the story with the young lady who lived in Chicago, who came to Vegas for the Mayweather fight with her friend. They got separated. She met a young man and went to hang out with him for the weekend, not for the entire weekend, but like you said, Desiree, back in the day, we could meet somebody, go out to dinner, and you didn't think that you were not going to make it home, but you meet somebody, she goes out to dinner and does whatever it is that she does with him. And the man takes her all the way up north to California. Wow. And the next time her mother heard from her, she was basically sexually assaulted and found naked. The mom absolutely. Her mom tries to get her back home, and that little girl never made it home. They have never heard from her again. They do not know where she's at. We were able to interview the mom maybe about Tanya, 4 years ago?
4 years ago, yeah. And I actually looked at that group. They're still fighting to find her. They're still having searches for her. Her name is Alexis Scott.
Mm-hmm. And just on a random trip, gets on a plane, comes with her friends, and next thing you know, she's bounced from one state to another that quick. And those are the people that when you go to the police and you report your child is missing, they go, well, are you sure? Maybe she's just in Vegas somewhere drunk and hasn't made a phone call to you yet. And then next thing you know, you look up and it's 3-4 years and you still haven't heard from your loved one. And now mom or sister or brother or whoever is having to make a Facebook group to keep your name heard and to keep your story going, because they're not going to keep airing it on the news. But if it was a different person,
Wow.
CNN and MSNBC wouldn't let that story go until you were brought home.
Look at the girl that was with her boyfriend, the
Yeah.
little young Caucasian girl who the police ended up stopping them because they had got into a domestic dispute. They ended up letting them go. And then all hell broke loose on their end. Not only were they embarrassed because that tape showed them allowing them to basically get back together after the public domestic dispute, they still couldn't find her long after. This was way before he even was found, dead when he killed himself. But they were on it so tough. And I felt that. And at the end of the day, my heart breaks for any and everybody that is missing domestic violence. That is not my goal, is to say, let me separate them black and white. And if you white, oh well. No, it's more so of the attention, the backlash, the outpour. It was like, damn, it was a girl that was the exact same age and the exact same situation in her town, but she was black and y'all didn't even hear it.
I'm gonna tell you.
Well, every time,
and I know Desiree and Tanya can't do this, but for those of you guys who are listening, Mama J, you could probably do it. Go to Google and put in missing person and click news. Click news.
And click what?
News. Like when you Google, put in Google, go to Google, put in missing person, and at the top you should see it say image news. Click news.
She's the first one.
How many minorities do you see?
None.
But I can go right now to Facebook and put in missing person, and it's going to be a circle of African American people looking for their loved one because they're missing. We just showed at least 4 or 5 pictures of African American little girls
who have never made it to the news
and who have been missing since the that's just the ones that are missing from September 27th. Okay,
right.
Where are they at?
Her name was Gabby Petito. How ironic. I was talking about it when I typed in missing person. She was the first one.
Absolutely.
And there's a movie as well.
What?
Yes. She
next
already
week.
has a movie.
Yeah.
On what is it?
Every time
Every
time I see on the news, breaking news of a little Caucasian girl or woman who comes up missing, I do what Jasmine says. I will go to Google and I will put in how many African American girls went missing on that very same day, and you'll just get name and picture after picture after name after picture, and none of them ever make it to. And the next thing I'll do, I'll go to the state that they're missing in to see if in fact it has aired on the news in that state, and it never even, the community, the public never even knows about it. Yeah. But you'll put in that same little young white girl in that state, and they'll pop up just like Gabby just popped up.
Well, and then you go further to see the discrepancy. You click on that, they're going to have the entire story, what mom said, what dad said, who else is looking, where they're looking, where they were when it happened. When I go to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and that's where I go first when I'm looking for the young girls who are missing. I go to that site and I filter for what I'm looking for. Missing. I'm just going to give you one. This is what it says. Missing since September 27th, 2022. Age 17, female. Sex female. Race black. Hair color brown. Eye color brown. Height 5'5". Weight 150. Alyssa was last seen wearing a red jacket, camouflage leggings, and white tennis shoes. She has dimples in her cheeks and a mole on her left hand. And then what?
There's no story behind it.
No
There's
story.
no story behind it. No real details.
No, it's up to the family at this point to make a group, to reach out, to call the locals, to call news stations, to pass out flyers. It's literally the community / the family, more so the family. And I'm
Yeah.
going to keep reiterating that community needs to step up. But it now becomes the family's problem, like, oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
But here you go. Here's a phone number. This is the name of the case. It's the person over the case and the number. Good luck. Fingers crossed they get somebody that's active.
Yep.
Lord forbid they get someone who don't care, that got a pound on their desk this high. Got a little black girl getting skid right to the bottom. And you look up and months have gone by before they call and say, oh, it's still an active open case. We don't have any new updates. We'll keep you in the loop. And then that's it.
That's
And
it.
then that's it. Like,
That's it.
dang, y'all really just leave it up to the family? Like, what is the purpose of the police department?
Well,
What's
and
the
here's
purpose of the
the
rules?
sad part, because here's the second difference. In order for you to have retained that much information, you really sat down and met with the family to get an understanding of who it is you're looking for, why you think she's missing, what type of person was she? Well, let's talk about her friends. Let's go talk to her friends. And then you're at the school trying to get, character information about her. But when it's an African-American girl or boy, the information you're going off of is clearly the information that the parents submitted to you on the missing persons report. So then you take that, you look at it and you go, okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and list that as a runaway. And hey, by the way, we're going to send it over to the National and Missing and Exploit it, and they'll put it up on there too. And then we're going to go shoot it out to NamUs, but you never put it on the news. You know how many times I've heard a news person bring up an African-American missing girl story and they can't even say the name right?
Girl,
Of course.
And don't care.
I got a video right now that I look at every day and I go, I cannot believe that we did not curse him out. When we were doing the Kanika Jenkins and we went to DC and the reporter came out to meet, and the first thing he said was, are you guys here for the Kanika, what did he say? The Kanika case. That is not her name. So and that's what I go to say is half the time they barely even know the name. They're not understanding who the person is personally. They're not getting attached to the family to understand the characters and why an individual could be missing. They genuinely just don't even, they don't care at all. And that's sad. And that's the unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
And we need to change that. Most definitely. We need to change that. And let me tell you, we have went over by 23 minutes because when I tried to end it an hour ago, everybody got sad. So,
I know.
So next week I was telling everybody I was trying to wrap it up. So let me go back to wrapping it up. Next week, every week at 7:00 on Fridays, we will be live. We will try to be live. But again, like I said, we have a lot of cases coming in. We're a volunteer organization. So not only are we running the YouTube channel, but we are also handling the cases that are coming in. For those of you guys that just tuned in, brief reminder, if you would like to report a missing person or somebody that you believe may be sex trafficked or human trafficked, please go to our website, dockellisfoundation.com, and it is at the bottom of the screen if you're not understanding the words that I'm saying, because I'm saying, and I don't mean by illiterate, I mean if I'm saying doc, some people spell it DOC. So down at the bottom of the screen, that is our website. You can go to the website and there is 2 big buttons on the first screen that will say report a missing person. And then the second button that says get help is if you are needing assistance on a different type of situation outside of a missing person. So if you are somebody who is experiencing sex trafficking or sex work and you would like to get out of what you're doing, click the get help button. If you do not want to fill all that information out but would like to talk to us and we are closed or after hours, you can go to the chat button on the website, put in your message, and it's going to disperse to us immediately. I will say, so that everybody's aware, the moment you click submit, we all see it, but we do deserve off days.
Yeah.
the 1-800 number that Desiree gave you earlier. You can call that number or text that number. If you text the number again, we're asking that everybody please give us 24 to 48 hours to respond back in regards to your case. And that is all I have to say. And I can close it out, ladies, if you'd like. I knew I could feel it in my, that's why I slowed down like, if you like.
Wait, before we go, first of all, thank everybody that's here. Next week, I'm pushing. I have homework for you guys. I want you guys to share it. I want you to talk about it. Start bringing it up in conversations. Bring it up around the coffee house. Start texting your friends. Guess what? It's a bunch of ladies who I know get online every Friday and go live. Start talking about it. Spread the word. It is so easy. I'm like literally getting ready to start eliminating some of my friends because this is something that is extremely serious and dear to us. Start sharing this. Even if you don't think somebody's listening, somebody's watching. The other thing I was going to say, the snippet that we played earlier of the young ladies, the most recent ladies that are missing, if you didn't see it or you want to see the video again, you can also reach us on our, thank you, Jasmine. Take a look at these babies. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I'm so nosy that at times when I'm walking, I'm staring people in the face. I can get home and say, oh, it was a lady at the grocery store that had black braids, blue shirt on, and a little bit of yellow bow in her hair. Because I'm observing and I'm paying attention. Look at these babies. Pay attention to that. And last but not least, it's a very little square over there. It says donate. Donate. Go do that. Help us out. There's a lot of things that backdoor that take to keep us up and moving. And I don't mean a salary for us. I mean to keep the website up. I mean for us to be able to pass out the flyers, to get in contact with certain people, to keep some of our operation going, just our daily operation. Donate. Every little bit helps. Okay, now I'm finished. That's all I have.
And just piggybacking off of Desiree, far as the donations, I agree with Desiree. I tell Jasmine all the time, if everybody just had 300 people on your page that donated $1, just $1,
right?
Imagine how many families that we would be able to reach out and help per the donations that we receive. $1. And I tell people all the time, just drop $1.
Right.
You got it, drop it. Okay.
Right.
Get that seed. It will come back to you in a mighty way. Believe me.
Not only will it come back, you know where it's going to help.
Absolutely. And not only are you going to know where it's going, you're going to see where it's going. However, they're talking about donating so that button over here, the right way, the QR code, you can put your phone up to that. That'll take you to our donate now. You can, if you're on Facebook, you can send stars. I don't know about Twitter. Also, our
stars
on our YouTube channel, there is a little heart that's up under the page. You can also press that heart and you can donate that way, or you can go directly to the Dock Ellis Foundation and look on the Donate Now tab. You can even also, if you don't want to donate $1, $5, or whatever it is that you cannot donate, we're also on Amazon Smile. So when you're doing your purchase and you go to checkout, you can down at the bottom, select your organization and put in the Dock Ellis Foundation, and Amazon will take a portion of what you've paid and donate it to the Dock Ellis Foundation.
And so I know all y'all be on Amazon.
I have something else to say about donating. On Facebook, when you have, people have birthday donations, you can always tell your friends, why don't you pick the Dock Ellis Foundation for your birthday organization? So we get donations that way as well. Do that as well.
Tanya, your eyelashes popping. I'm sorry. I just had to say that. Girl.
Thank you.
Not just say that on live.
I'm sorry, but she went to say, and you can. She was like, and you can.
Well, ladies, the good thing about our followers that they will learn from us that we're just good old down home girls that sit around and we just keep it real 100.
Honey. Okay, sorry. And we are going to. I'm going to end. We are going to wrap it up, but I would like to end with our commercial. And then after our commercial, we'll go ahead and play the end out. So matter of fact, I'm going to play a couple of videos to end out. I will play our support video. I'm then going to play our commercial so that you're aware of our services, and then we will close it out. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Bye, guys.